Chairman, I fully support the Meeks bill, co-sponsored by our distinguished ranking member, or chairwoman, I should say, Young Kim, on illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, H.R. 6638. Mr. Chairman, in October of 2023, as chairman of the Commission, Congressional Executive Commission on China, I chaired a hearing entitled "How Forced Labor in China Taints America's Seafood Supply Chain." It coincided with the release of Ian Urbina's groundbreaking study, a 4-year study, and many of his investigators faced great risks in reporting and doing the due diligence that they did, and it broke the story about how China's fleet is filled to overflowing with forced labor. Matter of fact, he testified that of the 357 of the 751 ships that deal with squid, half had serious problems with forced labor. And that's just the ones that they studied. There are even more, but it was an amazing study. On the fishing boats, as well as in processing plants, China uses forced labor to undersell competitors. Of course they do. They have forced labor. They have very small amounts of costs associated with the people around the ships. And on the open seas, cut off from contact with land, harsh and very cruel punishment is meted out to laborers who are treated as slaves. Wages are withheld. Captive peoples, especially the Uyghurs, are often conscripted onto these boats. On land, North Korean women are exploited to process these fish. This also has national security implications because Kim Jong-un's regime is paid a price per head for supplying these North Korean laborers, funds that he then uses, obviously, for his military machine. And here is the kicker. The United States government has been subsidizing this barbaric behavior. One of the takeaways from our hearing and ongoing reach out to the administration, both the Biden administration and now the Trump administration, is that many of our laws are being broken, current laws, with this, and we're buying for our commissaries, DOD, the VA, the Department of Agriculture. They are going with best price, and so often the fish that lands in those commissaries is tainted with forced labor. I have written to every secretary a number of times in the last administration and in this, saying we've got to stop our complicity with this forced labor and the purchase and procurement of those products because they are made with that, with forced labor. This implicates that at least three U.S. laws are potentially violated right now. This will add another layer, I believe, and I'm for it totally, including the Tariff Act, which prohibits goods made with slave or forced labor from being imported into the United States, the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, which applies to conscripted forced Uyghur labor, and Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act, which covers North Korean laborers. I, along with, again, my colleagues on the commission, we continue to write and ask and call and admonish that they stop our complicity in this, and I do hope that this legislation passes, because this will be another layer of us telling the administration to stop it. Yield back.